Yeah, this land raised me, this land pays me. Stars and stripes in my blood, that's daily. Boots in the dirt, hard in the fight. Ain't nothing better than American life. I'm a small town rider with a big flag view. Red, white, blue hanging on my roof. Got pride in my words, got God in my chest. And I stand tall firm when my country's stressed. Folks talk loud but they don't do work. I'm grinding sun up, boots down in the earth. Family on my mind, freedom on my sleeve. If you don't stand for this land, then you're free to leave. It's America first, that's the way that I roll. From the heartland dirt to the city back roads. We rise, we fight, we pray, we earn, and we take care of our own. Yeah, it's America first. Yeah, gas up the truck, let the Ford tailgate drop. Country boys stand when the whole world pops. Hard times hit, we don't fold or run. We pass the torch down, father to son. We build our homes, we protect our land. We ain't scared to speak up, we ain't scared to stand. Faith, freedom, family, that's the code. And I keep all three locked deep in my soul. It's America first, that's the truth that I speak. For the welders, the farmers, the strong and the meek. From the mountains high to the fields that burn, we love this land and this America. They can talk about change, but we built this dirt. My people bleed pride, yeah, we put in the work. We don't bow down and we don't break. We're the ones holding strong when the whole world shakes. It's America first, man, that's who we are.
What it do, chat? What it do, baby boo?
Stars stand tall, speak loud, let the anthem burn.
I'll be live here in a minute, chat. Be live here in a minute. How's the audio, guys? How's the audio?
And it's America first.
Make sure you hit the like button, chat. Make sure you hit the like button, guys.
It's America first. It's America first. It's America first. It's America first. That's the way that I roll. From the heartland dirt to the city back roads. We rise, we fight, we pray, we earn, and we take care of our own. It's America first. 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 It's America first.
What it do, chat? What it do, baby boo? We are live. Happy Thursday, guys. We are waiting for oh shit. We're waiting for JD Vance to hit the stage, guys. He's gonna be making a press conference here soon, guys. Hope you guys are having a good Thursday, guys. I hope you are having a good Thursday. How's your day going, chat? How's your day going? Drop where you're watching from, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the follow button. Jeffrey, what's up, man? It's lazy, not laxy. I didn't take no laxatives. Not today, Trent. Not today. Brian, Karen's, where you at, Trent? Where you at, guys? Make sure you say hello, guys. I am hungry, guys. I am hungry. Are you guys hungry? I'm gonna put on some of my music, man. So while we're waiting, okay? Is that all right, Chad? If I put on some of my music while we wait for this JD Vance to come in? Is that okay with you guys? Hello, hello, hello. Let's play a few of my songs while we're waiting on Mr. JD Vance to come up, Chad. Let me get everything situated here. That there, that there. Get this one right here. All right, Chad. That we're set, man. Oh man, sorry. Hey man, you're good, man. You're good, man. You're good, brother. You are good, my man. Top intro. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready, Trey? Are you guys ready? Hello, hello.
Yeah, this land raised me, this land pays me.
How about this one, Trey? Trump is my president, baby. All day, all night. Look here, baby. Whoa, yeah. Oh, y'all didn't know I had tattoos, did you? Y'all didn't know I had tattoos, did you, chat?
Stars and stripes light up the sky. We work these.
Y'all see the flag, the back to blue flag on my shirt, chat?
We stand for freedom. That's what it is.
That's what it is, baby. I'm in Arkansas, right on, man. Coldest weather we've seen since 21, right on, man. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Trump is my president. Oh, hold on, Chad, hold on. What the hell's going on here? Say it again.
Is my president. Trump is my president. They call us names. They push their lies. But truth still burns behind
I can't get that.
eyes. We built this land. We won't forget.
W's in the chat for the wife, guys. Miss Lazy brought me some coffee, chat. Let's go. W's in the chat. She gotta bring me some burgers and fries too, chat. Oh, that's so good, chat. W, baby, boo. Jesse, James, what it do? Make sure you hit the like, sub button, chat. How's the audio, chat? Audio, video good? What it do, chat? What it do? Y'all didn't know I had tattoos, did you, chat?
Trump is my president, bold and proud. The people's voice is shouting.
If you can't get it on, that's fine.
From the mountains to the Rio Grande, we're taking back our promised land. We don't break, we don't pretend.
Yeah, I got 2 full sleeves, guys. I go all the way up, all the way up. All the way into the armpit, baby. All the way into the armpit, chat. Y'all see that, guys? Trump is my president. Hey, chat, if you did not know, you can find all my music on Spotify, iTunes Music, iHeartRadio, everywhere, chat. You can find all my music, Spotify, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio. I am shocked to learn that you have tattoos. Well, why would he? I love tattoos. I got tattoos on my neck too, guys. I do. Just can't really see them because of my beard. Liam, what it do, baby boo? How's everybody? Happy Thursday, chat. Happy Thursday, guys. Lazy. Video, audio can look good, Miss Lazy. I don't know if she's in here or not, crap, but JD Vance coming up to speak, guys, about ICE in Minneapolis, Minnesota, guys. We're waiting on it, chat. We're waiting on it, guys. And then once he does his spew, then we're gonna try to find somebody. I don't know. We might try to find some other place to hang out, chat. I love coming down here with the The lazy patriot nation, guys. I do. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that sub button, guys. We're almost close. We are like 40, I think 47 away from 1,000 subs, guys. My name. I gotta look at the string, make sure it looks good. Does it sound good, chat? Yeah, chat, we are 56 subs away, guys. 56 subs away from hitting 1,000. Let's get it, baby. Boo, what it do, what it do? What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do? Let's go. Yeah, I'm listening to it, chat. That sounds good. Ice, ice, baby, in the chat, guys. Ice, ice, baby, in the chat. Let's go. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Ice, ice, baby. All right, chat. Let's see. Let's see. America first, chat. You gotta play America first, chat. Ice, ice, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
This land pays me.
This land pays me.
Stars and stripes in my blood.
Yeah, I got so much shit on my desk, man. I swear to God, man. We're waiting on JD Vance, chat. JD Vance coming out to speak to us, guys. I got 2 feeds up, man, in case one starts before the other one.
With a big flag view, red, white, blue, hanging on my roof. Got pride in my words, got God in my chest, and I stand tall, firm when my country's stressed.
If you ain't got God in your chest, you need to get him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, make sure everybody gets out at the midterms, man. Everybody, all you people need to find out when your midterms are going to be happening. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to get out and vote, man. I'm telling you. That's the only way that we're gonna keep it, chat. That's the only way us Patriots are gonna keep it. You gotta, the midterms are very, very important. Very important, guys, to get out, register, and do all that good stuff that you have to do. Us Patriots need to stay in charge, guys. We can't let the Dems, we can't let the Dems take it, chat. We can't. I don't think they will, but we can't let it happen, guys.
It's America first, that's the truth that I speak for the welders, the farmers, the strong enough.
The welders, the farmers, let's get it, baby.
We love this land, and this America. They can talk about change, but we built this dirt. My people bleed pride, yeah, we put in the work. We don't bow down, and we don't break. We're the ones holding strong when the whole world shakes. It's America first.
It's America first, baby. Boo, what it do, what it do, what it did, what it done.
Stand tall, speak loud, let the anthem burn because freedom ain't free.
It's America first.
It's America first. It's America first. It's America first.
All right, chat, we're going to start a poll, guys.
It's America first. It's America first. That's the way that I roll. From the heartland dirt to the city back roads. We rise, we fight, we pray, we earn, and we take care of our own. It's America first. 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 It's America first.
Oh, chat, I'm doing a poll, guys. All right, man. All right, chat. Hold on. Here we go. Start poll. Let me know if you guys can see that poll, chat. Let me know if you can see the poll, man. Make sure you take the poll, chat. Take the poll. Take the poll. We'll play Trump's my president again, chat. You know what I mean? While we're waiting, guys. While we're waiting, man. This song hits, guys. Are you guys voting? Let's go. Let's go. You voted. Carol, what it do, baby? Hope you're having a good day. Carol is in the house, chat. Carol's in the house. We got Woody, Jeffrey. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Make sure you hit the like button, chat. I'm Hey It's Lazy right here on YouTube. We are waiting for JD Vance to come out, guys. God, they lifted the thing that was restricting ICE. They can actually protect themselves now, chat. Y'all hear that, chat? Loud and clear, baby. We got 7 votes, guys. We got 17 people in here. Make sure you vote, guys. Boom, boom, pow. Boom, boom, pow. In again. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. We're waiting for JD Vance to come out and talk to us, guys. He is in Minneapolis, Minnesota today, guys. He is. I'm getting hamburgers and fries again, too, Shy. You know, I'm that Lazy the Hamburglar. Just call me Lazy the Hamburglar. You know what I mean? Lazy the Hamburglar. I love hamburger shit. I do. And fries, man. I ain't gonna lie. You're doing great. A good warm up for JD. Maybe he will hire you for his baby, man. Woody, baby. I don't know, man. I've got a voice for radio, man. I do. I got a voice for radio. I definitely don't have a face for radio. I got a face for radio. I got the voice, but I got a face for radio, chat. You know what I mean? Make sure this is on 1080p here, chat. I think it is. Give me a second. What are we in? Yeah, we're at 1080p, chat. And get the truck out of here. Say it again, baby. Say it again. Who's your president, chat? Who is your president, guys? I'm telling you, midterms are big, guys. You got to get out and vote, guys. You got to get out and vote, man. So we can keep the House, the Senate. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out and vote, baby boos. Damn, chat, that song is badass, man. I'm not gonna lie, chat. If you wanna join my music, guys, look for me on Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music. It's on all platforms, chat. Let's see what we got here, guys. Let's see what we got here. As soon as JD Vance comes out, man, we'll focus in on that, chat. We will focus in on that. Chattity chat. I wonder if I can go to anything else while we're waiting. We'll just stick with my music, chat. I'll be waiting for JD Vance to come out. How good to you, chat? Yeah, sounds good to me. Da-da-da-da-da. You hear that sound, chat? You hear that sound? That's the sound of freedom, baby.
There's the throne coming down.
That's the sound of freedom,
Born in the ashes, baptized in war. I didn't ask for the crown, I earned every scar. While they were praying for mercy and light, I was sharpening steel in the dead of the night. Broken bones, but I still stand tall. Every demon knows my name when I crawl. Through the smoke, through the pain, through the flame, I don't bow, I make kings feel
Chad, you gotta love the ice vehicles behind it, don't you, man? That looks badass, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. That looks badass, man. Oh, hell. Oh, hell. To the range, baby. Yeah, make sure you take the pole, guys. Take the pole.
Built from scars, built from nights staring down the dark. No savior came, no guiding hand. I caught my fate in broken land. They talk loud.
We got the live feed going, guys. As soon as JD Vance comes out, man, we're gonna get to it, Chad. We're gonna get to business. Then we're gonna be looking for other stuff coming up too, guys. I'm king now, baby. King. Yeah, all hell to the ray, baby. What's going on here, Charlie? Hold on, give me a second, guys. Hey, Chad, that one guy got busted, Chad. The guy with the beard and the hat.
Bow down.
Bow down.
Rise up, claim the crown, blood and fire.
Jack Smith is getting roasted, Chad. Y'all see that? Y'all see that when he's testifying? He's getting roasted right now. He is getting roasted, Chad. I mean, roasted. 3 arrested today. Let's go. Who got arrested?
Crowns are given.
Down, 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 ba ba da ba ba. All right, Chad. One more song. We'll get to some covers until JD comes out. Two women and one man, right on. I mean, you know.
Screen 4 a.m. Same fight, new day. Steel toe boots, cold floor, coffee tastes like pain. Wind cuts deep, rig lights burn white. Climb that iron, praying you come home tonight. Hands already split, gloves soaked through. Every scar earned, every dollar due. They don't see the miles, they don't feel the load. They just turn the key and expect it to go. We don't beg, we don't break, we just nod and move. Every man here's got something to prove.
Here, Chad, look at it. I'll bring this up, Chad. Give me a second. This guy's getting roasted right here, man. This guy's getting roasted. Jack Smith, man, he's getting roasted, Chad. He is getting roasted, Chad. Oh, Chad. We'll get back to JD Vance. I'll let you know. We'll switch over when he goes live.
Was stolen.
That was part of our proof at trial, and it was relevant.
How's the audio, Chad? This guy is getting roasted, man.
Specifically to the first charge, to defraud the United States. It is permissible for someone to lie, but when they use speech to commit a crime, to facilitate a crime, that is not protected by the First Amendment.
Jack is a jackass. He is, Chad. He could be. He could be, Chad. He could be. He could be, Chad. He could be.
Was litigated in the case.
Yeah, as soon as JD Vance goes live, Chad, we'll switch back.
And one thing I want to be clear about today, the case that I investigated and the case we had, it was built to be tried in a courtroom, not in the media. Our case was built to withstand the crucible of litigation. And
What a new winner. Welcome on in, buddy. Welcome on in, man. We're going to be getting to JD Vance soon. I've got the live ready to go, man. We're just
What I
waiting for
heard
him
you
to come
say
out,
is
guys.
that when you lie and you know you're lying, and then you act on that lie to overturn the democratic process,
So what you're-
that is a felony.
Hold on, guys. A minute. Hold on,
January
Chad.
6er actually said, if I can't trust him, then
Hold on, Chad. What he's saying is he is a liar, and if you lie, that means you're lying, and yeah, Chad, lying.
who can I trust? Exactly. You know, we cannot even trust our own president. And in fact, there's so many other things that you can say that you're not allowed to say.
I'm currently doing laundry. Right on now.
Because Trump,
I need somebody to do my laundry,
a
Chad.
judge sealed the documents, refusing to release the files yet again, which is why we could probably ask you far more questions if those were unsealed. So I know I don't have that much time. I want to now shift to these allegations from my Republican colleagues about the collection of phone records of Republican senators. I guess some of the ones that were trying to get $500,000 of taxpayer dollars. So many of the
there
phone records
were
of members
7
were
votes of
requested before you
Republican
were appointed as
rhinos
special counsel.
in the House,
Yes,
Chad.
no.
They are. That's why it's important, guys, that y'all midterm chat, okay? We got to get the rhinos out of there,
And
Chad.
what do you say to those who claim you chose
vote,
to
guys.
target
You gotta vote.
Republicans because you only collected phone records for Republicans?
The conspiracy I was investigating targeted Republicans.
Right.
As I mentioned earlier.
Did y'all see what Trump
And so
said
you would
on
have
him about
requested
him on
any
True
relevant
Social
call
with chat?
records necessary for your
If you
investigation
don't follow
of a
Trump on
Republican
True
or a
Social
Democrat.
chat, make sure you do, guys. I'm telling you.
That's correct. And to be clear, if a Democrat committed these acts, we would have sought those. I could just add one thing. We interviewed Rudy Giuliani in the course of this investigation, and we asked him.
Yeah,
why
vote.
did you
Chad,
say, why did
you guys
in
can
one
make
of
the
voicemails
difference. You really
after the
can, man.
Sunday,
All you got to do is get out and vote, Chad. That's all you got to do.
mentioned the fact, that it was
Make sure we keep the
reaching out to. And he said,
House and the
because
Senate,
the
guys.
Democrats weren't going to help us, and even some Republicans wouldn't help us. And so our evidence shows repeatedly that the plan was to.
Like I said, we're waiting on
declare
JD Vance right now, guys.
Some of the gentlelady's expired. The gentlelady from.
Thank you, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentlelady from Wyoming is recognized for 5 minutes.
Make sure you
Mr.
hit the
Smith,
like
it was
button,
during
Chad.
your
Like button,
deposition with
subscribe
our
button.
committee that you
We're almost
revealed
at
that you
1,000
tasked your
subs, guys.
team, specifically J.P. Cooney, to engage with the partisan January 6th committee. You had to have known at the time the controversy surrounding this committee, including the fact that all of the members had been appointed by Nancy Pelosi, who disallowed the Republicans from being able to engage. Yet you proceeded anyway, raising numerous questions as to your strategy for conspiring with the J6 committee. You had every possible resource available to you. Your prosecution of President Trump was clearly a priority for the Biden administration, and it is clear that you had an unlimited budget. And you also left no stone unturned, even subpoenaing records from sitting members of the House and Senate. So what information could the J6 committee possess that you and the nation's top law enforcement agency could not obtain on your own?
We're going to be, hold on, give me a second, Chad.
I did request J.P. Cooney.
What did they have that you couldn't obtain on your own?
Give me 1 second, Chad. Give me 1 second, guys.
In any investigation, you would.
What information did they have that you were not able to obtain on
Where's
your
my
own?
mouse? Chad, you ever been on a computer and
know
lost
that
your
until
mouse?
I had their information.
What's happened to me, right? Okay.
Was
I
there
found it.
anything there? Did you find
Give
that
me
they
1
had
second, Chad. We'll
information
pull
that
this
you were
back
not
up.
able to obtain?
Give me a second.
I don't recall specifically every bit of information. What I can tell you is we took in their information because we wanted to collect any information that could be relevant. We made our own independent assessment.
Yeah, we got
Okay,
that
so
up. I want
from
to
the
go
time
to
that you
window
were appointed as
capture,
special counsel
one.
up to the date of your resignation in January of 2025, did you personally have any contact with any members, staff, or contractors of the House's January 6th Select Committee? And if
Give me a
so,
second,
who?
Chad. Let me resize that, Chad. Give me
I
a
do
second.
not believe I had contact with anybody.
All right, so
personally
we got.
from January.
All right, Chad. We
January
got that
6th
up, guys.
committee failed to archive or preserve
We'll put
its
that over
video
here.
recordings
Oh, here comes
of
JD,
witness
Chad. I
interviews,
think maybe. No,
deleting
that's not
or
JD.
destroying
It's
as
not
many
JD,
as
Chad. Calm down. It's not
900
JD.
interview
It kind of looked
summaries
like in there
or
for a minute, Chad.
transcripts involving more than 1 full terabyte of digital data. I repeat, the J6th committee destroyed evidence. Let that sink in.
Yeah, let that sink in. West
Why would they
Virginia
do such a
back in
thing?
the House. William
I think we have
Kelly,
a dang good idea.
a farmer, as they call him, arrested
The
for
committee
what?
actually used selective clips from these videos and transcripts during their hearings, and yet by destroying this evidence, They have denied Congress and the public the ability to obtain their full content and context.
All right, Chad. JD
They
Vance
created
coming out
their
soon,
narrative
Chad.
by selective use of the
I
evidence
think this is a
before
better
them.
picture right here. This is a better picture.
So
I
how
think.
very convenient. Did
think
you
we're
or
gonna go to
your
this one,
team
Chad.
receive
This is actually
any
a better
of those
picture, I
witness
think.
transcripts or video recordings of transcribed interviews from the Select Committee that were not released to the public?
What I can tell you is that I requested JP
That's a better
Cooney
picture, I think,
to
Chad.
contact the Select Committee.
Do you know if you received any of the evidence or testimony that
could
the
be wrong, but it
J6
looks like a
committee
better picture.
eventually destroyed?
I don't have any information that the J6 Committee
You don't know
destroyed
one
any
way or the
evidence.
other as you sit here today.
Going into work,
what I'm
damage,
telling
what it do?
Is that I requested all the information we could get from the January 6th.
Has all of the information
going
that you
into a
requested
church, I
been
got you.
preserved? All of the information from the J6 committee, has that been preserved?
The information that we requested and received, we reviewed it. It was
Has
part
it
of
been
our file.
preserved?
Yes, as part
Thank
of
you.
our files. And
Were you or your team advised, or did you get the impression from anyone affiliated with the January 6th committee that these documents were not for public release, even though portions of them had already been shown to the American people? Were you advised to keep any of the information from the J6 committee confidential?
Yeah, he might be going. I think he's in hot water,
sit
Chad.
here right
He is
now, I
in
don't
very hot water,
Okay.
Chad.
I recall,
Did the J6 committee provide you with the Cassidy Hutchinson testimony as part of the trove of documents that you received?
as I sit here now, I don't recall, but it would
Well,
be very
you're familiar with her testimony, aren't you?
I am, and
And in fact, wouldn't you agree with me that Ms. Hutchinson's testimony, especially the most explosive allegations made, was comprised of hearsay upon hearsay upon hearsay?
How many likes we got, Chad? How many likes we got, guys?
Come on,
we
you're
got
an
to get our
attorney.
likes up.
Mr.
We got to
Smith,
get the
you can
subs
answer
up,
the
guys. We got to
question.
hit
Of
1,000
course it was
subs today.
hearsay.
I think we're
And
like
hearsay
56
isn't
away,
admissible
Chad.
in a court of law, is it? Why? Because it is inherently unreliable, and the victim or the target of a prosecution is not able to cross-examine. Isn't that correct? In fact, Mr. Smith, if you had attempted to walk into court with Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony, you would have been thrown out on your ear. No judge, no
Yeah, you know, if
legitimate
she wanted to say
judge
thrown out
would
on your
have ever
ass, you know,
allowed
if she
the
wanted to say that,
testimony
Chad.
of Cassidy Hutchins to be admitted in a court of law, would they?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Likes,
Well,
the follows,
and
man. I
we've
appreciate
already
you guys.
talked
Thank
about
you.
your record
Mr. Chairman,
today,
Mr.
so I
Chairman,
can
the gentlelady's
understand why
time has long
I
since
yield
expired.
back.
The time of the gentlelady has expired. The gentleman from Florida,
Can I do one UC request first?
gentleman is recognized.
This is from factcheck.org. Meme rehashes old false claim that J6 committee destroyed evidence from October 15, 2024. And this is from the District of Columbia National Guard website, stating that this is the only National Guard unit in America which reports exclusively and only to the president.
Without objection, the gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I mean, we're definitely not in a court of law today. Half this shit wouldn't come in if we were.
Florida.
I mean, good God. I want to talk about something one of my colleagues, Mr. Nell, said from Texas. He sits on this new January 6th subcommittee, which I also happen to sit on. And he said the same thing in the subcommittee the other week, that it wasn't President Trump that inspired January 6th, right? It wasn't him. He said in the subcommittee that it was actually Ray Epps. Ray Epps, he was the one who told people to break the law and the windows and the doors and to beat police officers and hang Mike Pence and try to break into the floor of the House and wiping feces on the walls. It was all this guy, Ray Epps, right? So who is Ray Epps? Why is he so powerful? So, I mean, I just did a quick, Google search of Ray Epps, and his Wikipedia page says the powerful Ray Epps is a wedding planner to the Oath Keepers. This is the wedding planner? That's the mastermind of January. You went from Donald Trump. It wasn't Donald. Who
Yeah, W wipe in the chat, guys. W wipe in the
How
chat,
about the
man.
wedding
W
planner to
wipe
the
in
Oath
chat,
Keepers?
guys.
I mean, it's just pathetic. But, my colleagues love the past, Mr. Smith. Love the past. That's why you're here before Pam Bondi. Okay? We haven't had the Attorney General here.
Waiting on JD to come out, guys. You should be out here in the next
to not come in committee of reference. But
10
they
minutes
love
or
the
so.
past. Oh, they love talking about January 6th. And
You know how
Hunter Biden and
politicians
COVID
are
and
sometimes,
Obama
really.
and
You know what I mean?
Hillary's emails. They love the past. These people love the past so much they're still reenacting the Civil War. okay? Love the past.
Right now.
But I hate talking about the present. But you know what? Let's talk about the past real quick. Here are some quotes, because I heard one of my colleagues call you a hypocrite. Here are some quotes from my colleagues. Chairman Jordan, right after January 6th, stop the violence, support Capitol Police. Ted Cruz, those storming the Capitol need to stop right now. The Constitution protects but not violence. Chip Roy, today the People's House was attacked, which is an attack on the Republic itself. Steve Scalise, United States Capitol Police saved my life. Lindsey Graham, when it comes to accountability, the president needs to understand his actions were the problem. Troy Nels, oh my God, him again. I'm happy to stand shoulder to shoulder with Capitol Police. Darrell Issa, the violence and turmoil we witnessed in Washington, D.C. was completely unacceptable. Rep. McClintock, the attack on Capitol strikes the most sacred act of our democracy.
Okay, make sure you
And
take the
former
poll, guys.
Speaker
Make sure you
of the
take the
House,
poll,
Kevin
Trap.
McCarthy, whose name we heard a lot
Make sure you
today.
hit the like
What
button,
did he
too.
have to say about it? Let me be clear. Last week's violence attack on the Capitol was undemocratic, un-American, and criminal. And make no mistake, those who were responsible should be brought to justice. The president bears responsibility. Period. Or exclamation point. You know, but let's talk also about, the present. That's the past. Let's talk about the present. These are the guys who created the weaponization committee for the DOJ. So let's talk about the present. Jerome Powell facing investigation, okay? In fact, we heard about Jonathan Turley, that he's some legal messiah. Jonathan Turley calls the Jerome Powell thing legitimate concerns of retaliation. Lisa Cook, under investigation. Mark Kelly, United States Senator, under investigation.
Welcome to the Lazy
Adam
Nation.
Schiff, United
Patriots
States Senator,
only, baby.
under investigation. Eric Swalwell, United States Representative, under investigation. Chris Christie, potentially under investigation. Jack Smith, oh, that's you, under investigation.
Glad to have you.
Miles
Thank
Taylor,
you.
former Chief of Staff to the United States Department of Homeland Security, under investigation. Christopher Krebs,
Need to bring that
former
up so I
Director of
can read it.
Cybersecurity,
All right,
under
Chad, we're good now.
investigation. Indicted. James Comey.
Somebody hit the
Letitia
sub
James.
button right now, guys, so I can see if
John
it pops
Bolton.
up.
It's weird that they indicted John Bolton but stole his foreign policy. Accused of crimes, former President Joe Biden, former President Barack Obama. Revoked or threatened with revocation of Secret Service protection, Kamala Harris. Hunter Biden, Ashley Biden, the daughter of President Joe Biden. Mayorkas, Mike Pompeo, Brian Hook, General Mark Milley, John Bolton, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the guy Trump gave a medal to. Security clearance revoked, Joe Biden, Anthony Blinken, Jacob Sullivan, Lisa Monaco, Mark Zaid, Norman Eisen, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Andrew Weissman, Hillary Clinton, Liz Cheney, Kamala Harris, Adam Kinzinger, Fiona Hill, Alexander Vindman. Miles Taylor, I could keep going. Any questions about any of that? We know you don't.
But will the gentleman yield for a question?
I will, please.
Because you have a way of synthesizing that nobody else does, Mr. Moskowitz. Listening to our colleagues today, I wonder if they actually believe any of this would have happened had Donald Trump simply accepted the results of the election.
You mean like Al Gore did when he lost 5-4 at the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would any of this, would the violence have happened? Would the fake counterfeit slates have happened?
No,
the threats against Vice President Pence?
No, none of it would have happened. And Leanne Panetta would still have his security clearance. So would John Brennan. So would Michael Morrell, Michael Vickers. I can't get them all in, Mr. Chairman. I can't.
I can't get them all in. There's too
I have
many.
like 4 more pages of the weaponization of the Department
Time of
of
the
Justice.
gentleman from Florida
Concern.
has expired. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Smith, when was the initial indictment issued on President Trump? August 1st, 2023. Does that sound about right?
That's in the election case. That's correct.
Correct. And on that election case, after that, you asked for a trial date when?
I don't recall as I sit here right now.
January 2024.
Hey,
Does that
John
sound
Doe, if
about
you don't
right?
like it, you
sounds
can
about
get
right.
Okay, so
out of here.
after
If
the
you don't like it, you
indictment-
ain't got to watch, bro.
You, in August, you asked for a January trial date. That's like 5 months? 5 months? How much evidence did you have? Millions of pages?
As I sit here right now, I don't recall the exact.
I think in your testimony,
Matter
you
of
talked
fact,
about a
let's
number
put
of
him in a
13 million
timeout, Chuck.
pages.
Put
Is
him
that
in
a
timeout,
ballpark
Chuck.
accurate
You're in time. We're
number?
gonna put you in a naughty seat, bro.
I
Okay,
think
you're in
that
a
was
naughty
the
seat.
question
Okay.
asked of me, and as I sit here, I don't
Time
have
out,
an
man.
accurate
All right.
number.
If you want to continue watching,
let's
you
just
can.
assume
But
that that's true.
you're in
right?
a
'Cause
naughty
you had a
seat
bunch of
right now.
stuff. You had $50 million that you blew through the Treasury on a trial that went nowhere. How many pages per day is that? 100,000? That sound about right? What if we break that down per hour? It's 4,166. Per minute is 70 pages. You like to read, sir? You like to read?
I do.
Do you read 70 pages a minute?
Hope they arrest Don Lemon. They will.
I mean, that would be remarkable. So how do you prepare for a trial in 5 months if you're asking the defense counsel to read 70 pages a minute? How do you do that and prepare a defense and look at all the witness testimony and video evidence that you supposedly had? How do you do that? You know what's shocking to me, and I think that one of the most egregious aspects of this case, Mr. Smith, is that if you get a traffic
Chad, do you know
ticket in
anybody that
Washington,
can read
DC,
70 pages
you're not
a
going
minute?
to trial
I don't.
in 5 months. But you want the president, the former president
All
of
right,
the
Chad,
United
here comes
States,
JD. Hold on.
to have a trial date. with
JD,
13
hold
million
on, Chad.
pages of
I want to thank the law enforcement officers behind me for being here. I'll answer a few questions, but I want to
Give me a
say
second.
just a few things at the
Volume,
outset
volume,
just about
volume,
what I've learned today and what I'm trying to do here. You know, first of all,
Now,
I
hear
wanna
that,
give
chat?
a shout out to the Annunciation school shooting families, because the last time I was in Minneapolis, it was of course to meet with some of those families. I understand
Volume good?
that a couple of the students have made near miraculous recoveries, and just that was a very special moment for me to be invited into that community at a time of grief. And I hope that all of them know that though I didn't get to see them this particular time, I've been thinking about them and their families quite a bit. Now, to talk about what I am here to do, which is federal law enforcement to enforce our immigration laws, I want to say just a few things. First of all, I wanted to meet with business leaders, with ICE officers, with local law enforcement to try to understand a little bit better what's going on so that we can tone down the temperature a little bit, reduce the chaos, but still allow us as a federal government to enforce the American people's immigration laws. That is the purpose of my visit. Now, this is step one or step two of that process. There's going to be a lot of work that follows step one or step two of that process. There's going to be a lot of work that follows through from here. I'm happy to talk about that, but I think I learned a few things that were very important. So number one of the things I learned is that the guys behind me are doing an incredible job, and frankly, a lot of the media is lying about the job that they do every single day. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't occasionally stories out there, there aren't occasionally videos out there that suggest that these guys, or at least some of the people who work for them, are not doing everything right. But very often, if you look at the context of what's going on, you understand that these people are under an incredible amount of duress, an incredible amount of chaos, and because of a few very far left agitators, a lot of these guys are unable to do their jobs without being harassed, without being doxxed, and sometimes without being assaulted. That's totally unacceptable. And that's one of the things that I want to send a message to is, yes, come out and protest me, protest our immigration policy, but do it peacefully. If you assault a law enforcement officer, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice is going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. And I wanted to show some support for these guys who, frankly, are operating in a very, very tough environment. I heard a lot of stories today about that I think drives home just how chaotic the environment on the ground here has already gotten. For example, did you know that within the last, I think, week or so, maybe even more recently than that, you had a couple of ICE officers who were off duty, who had been doxxed online, who were sitting and having a meal at a restaurant in Minneapolis when a bunch of agitators showed up, locked the door, made them feel like they were in danger for their lives, and then, of course, it was federal law enforcement officers who had to come up, lower the temperature on the situation, and actually get those two off-duty officers to a point of safety. Now imagine, if you would, your life and your perspective on law enforcement if you can't even go to a restaurant without some agitators locking the door and making you feel like your life is in danger. That is the environment that has been created, I think, by a lot of very, frankly, far-left people, but also by some of the state and local law enforcement officials who could do a much better job in cooperating and working. And by the way, I'm not talking about the cops, who these guys told me on the ground, the cops are very sympathetic to what they're dealing with. I'm talking about the state and local elected law enforcement officials who could do a lot better job in making their lives a little bit easier. And in the process, they would make the lives of all Minneapolis residents easier, and that's what we want. We want to be able to enforce the immigration laws on the one hand, while on the other hand, we want to make sure that people in Minneapolis are able to go about their day. And I want to say just one last point on this. So I heard from a business leader today who told me a very tough story, and I think so much of what's gone wrong in Minneapolis is people not trying to understand the perspective of somebody else. Try to understand what somebody else is experiencing, whether they're a law enforcement officer or anybody in the community here in Minneapolis. So they told me a story about this manufacturing facility where an illegal immigrant was being arrested And as these employees are going into the manufacturing facility, all of a sudden an illegal immigrant shows up, they don't know it's an illegal immigrant, and then a bunch of ICE officers descend. Now, these people just want to go to work. They want to go to work safely. And now all of a sudden, there's a major law enforcement operation happening right outside their place of business. Now, from one perspective, I certainly understand why a business leader or why an employee would say, whoa, what's going on? It's a little scary, no matter your position in life, if a bunch of cop cars show up and they're arresting somebody. Now, the additional context is that we know that people online have been encouraging illegal immigrants that one way they can evade arrest is by showing up at a legitimate place of business, making it impossible for these guys to actually enforce our immigration laws. So while I can understand the perspective of somebody who doesn't want to see an arrest happen at their place of work, I can also understand the perspective of our immigration enforcement officers who have to do their job and can't allow a heckler's veto over our immigration enforcement. And so much of what's gone wrong is the failure to do that. And here's the point. We can do a good job of enforcing our immigration laws without the chaos, but it actually requires the cooperation of state and local officials. If you look at blue cities and blue states, red cities and red states, you go to Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee. You go to the state of Texas, obviously a very red state, or the state of Tennessee, a very red state, but you've got blue cities within those states, you do not have this level of chaos. The reason why things have gotten so out of hand is because of failure of cooperation between the state and local authorities and what these guys are trying to do. We have a ton of resources, a ton of ICE agents in this city right now that I would rather us not have. I'd love to send those guys home. They're not even doing targeted immigration enforcement. They are trying to protect ICE officers who are doing immigration enforcement, because when a crowd surrounds them and these guys call 911, the local officials, the local cops have been told now. So we have people here who aren't even doing immigration enforcement, they're doing force protection, so that if a rioter tries to ruin the life or assault an ICE officer, they're actually protected. Now, why doesn't it make more sense for the local cops to get involved in that situation? Why not just have the mayor or the local officials tell the police officers, you know what, if an ICE officer is being assaulted by a far-left agitator, you are invited, you should actually help them. That's what would work out in any normal situation, and that's what happens in nearly every jurisdiction, red or blue, in the United States of America. The reason it hasn't happened here is because the local authorities have been told, stand down, do not help ICE, promote the violence, promote the agitation, but don't do anything to lower the temperature and lower the chaos.
Yeah, that's bullshit, guys. They need to step in and help our agents out, guys, 100%.
That's a problem. Here's another example of how the lack of cooperation between state and local officials makes it harder for us to do our job and turns up the temperature. Let's say, for example, we have a criminal migrant who is a sex offender. And let's say that we've got to go and arrest that person who, Democrat or Republican, wants a sex offender living in their community. I would assume, I would hope that most people don't. But because they're an illegal alien, we don't know their last address. We may have known their address 3 years ago, but we don't know their address now. What we'd like to do is talk to local officials and say, you know what, according to the Medicaid rules, where was the last address this person was domiciled? Or according to a SNAP application, a food stamps application, maybe that could give us insight to where this person is today. Or maybe they had some local court trouble. We could go to the courthouse or even the local jail and try to find where this criminal sex offender is today. The local authorities have been told, do not cooperate. So these guys are trying to go out and enforce the law. They're trying to arrest sex offenders, but they're trying to do it in an environment where local officials have been told, do not help them, do not provide intelligence about where these sex offenders might be. This is disgraceful. And there are a lot of things that all of us could do better to lower the temperature, but the number one thing that I learned today is that the best way to facilitate reasonable enforcement of the law, but also to lower the chaos in Minneapolis, would be for state and local officials to cooperate. Now, I will say, on one final positive note, I actually think that there's some hope, some reason to think that there's going to be better cooperation in the weeks and months to come. I think that because I've talked to some of the local officials here. I think there are reasons to believe that these people are going to step up and actually ask the cops to protect our ICE officers when they're being assaulted, who are going to ask the local courts to cooperate with getting criminal sex offenders out of our community. That's a good thing. That's the good news, and that's something I'm going to work on when I get back to Washington. But please, if you're a local official, if you're the mayor of this town, if you have any influence over those people, just tell them to cooperate.
Amber, welcome,
because we
Patriot.
can have
Appreciate
immigration
you, Thank you.
enforcement operate as smoothly and without the chaos that we see
Glad
in
to have you,
Austin,
Amber.
Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee, or even rural parts of the state of Minnesota. All we need is a little cooperation. I guarantee we're going to do the best to be professional, to respect people's rights, to not do anything that we don't have to do in order to enforce immigration laws, but it would make our lives a lot easier, it would make our officers a lot safer, and it would make Minneapolis much less chaotic if we had a little bit of cooperation from the state and local officials. With that, I'll shut up and take some questions. Thank you, guys.
Vice President Vance, a local school district here is alleging ICE agents detaining a 5-year-old after preschool on Tuesday. We've also seen multiple American citizens detained by ICE or harassed by ICE in the last 6 weeks. Are you proud of how your administration is conducting this immigration crackdown here in Minnesota right now?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you know, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid. I actually saw this terrible story while I was coming to Minneapolis. We had just left Toledo, Ohio this morning for an economic messaging event. And I see this story, and I'm a father of a 5-year-old, actually, a 5-year-old little boy, and I think to myself, oh my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research. And what I find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien, and then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America? If the argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement. That doesn't make any sense. No one thinks that makes any sense. Now, you know, there are so many of these cases like that where if you just understand the...
So, Chad, what they're saying is the father was at home with a 5-year-old son, and the father took off without the son. I mean, what father does that and leaves their son at home, 5-year-old son at home? So, of course, the ICE agents aren't going to leave the boy there by himself. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take him to jail.
Context. There have been a number of situations that I've looked into personally where I say, wait a second, we don't want ICE arresting American citizens. They're supposed to be enforcing the immigration laws against illegal aliens. So then I look into it and I find out that the American citizen who was arrested took a swing at an ICE officer. You can't have that happen. And of course they have to defend themselves. And of course they have the right to detain somebody who assaults a law enforcement officer. Now, this is my point. Do we want these things to happen? Do we want these arrests to be so chaotic? No, we don't. These guys want it least of all, but if we had a little cooperation from local and from local and state officials, I think the chaos would go way down in this community.
President!
Go ahead.
Amen to that, Chap.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to suggest...
Yeah, well, you can go next.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you pointed it
No,
out.
that's fine. I'll take both.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to suggest that ICE officers enjoyed near complete immunity. But today you told the Washington Examiner that when appropriate, the administration might take disciplinary actions against ICE agents. So is that a change of opinion? And if so, why the change in tone?
No, I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said that officers who engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd. What I did say is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that is typically something that federal officials would look into. We don't want these guys to have kangaroo courts. We want them to actually have real due process, real investigation, because again, sometimes they're accused of wrongdoing, and it turns out when you learn the context, they didn't actually do anything wrong. But of course we're going to investigate these things. Of course we're investigating the Renee Good shooting, but we're investigating them in a way that respects people's rights and that ensures that if somebody did something wrong, yes, they're going to face disciplinary action, but we're not going to judge them in the court of public opinion. I've spoken at length on this particular case. I think that Renee Good's death is a tragedy. I also think that she rammed an ICE officer with her car. So the tragedy here is multi-layered. The tragedy is there was a misunderstanding. The tragedy is that Renee Good lost her life. The tragedy is that you have ICE officers who are going into communities where they're worried that if they call 911, no one's going to come to help them. That is what produces this terrible situation, and it's something state and local officials here in Minnesota could solve. Yes, sir.
Could you give us a message towards March for Life tomorrow, especially regarding this cooperation and family values? It's a shame that kids have to get caught up in all this, and towards that, sir.
Well, it is a shame that kids have to get caught up in this. I am speaking at March for Life tomorrow. I'm pro-life, and I'm very excited to speak there. I want to talk about local law enforcement, but, I am, as a child, I saw people in my family get arrested. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking, it's chaotic, it's traumatic for the kids. I can recognize that, and I can recognize that we got to support these kids, while on the other hand saying that just because you're a parent doesn't mean that you get complete immunity from law enforcement. And I think we have to hold both of those thoughts in our head at the same time. We've got to be sympathetic to the kids who are caught up in some of these enforcement actions. We've also got to say we have to enforce the law without bias, with...
Chad, I want to clear something up real quick, because just because the illegal immigrants, Chad, what about Americans that get arrested every single day and go to prison? They take them away from their kids. Am I correct, Chad? They broke the law. It doesn't matter if they're home with their kids or not. They're still going to jail because they broke the law, right, Chad? Am I right?
Fairness, but we've got to enforce the law.
Mr. Vice President!
Faye, what's going on? I see you, Faye.
And their mayor said they haven't heard about ICE being in the city. And how does ICE proactively work with these local agencies? What are those policies and what's your response to that?
You said there was an altercation in St. Cloud. Yeah.
After the incident, the mayor said that ICE did not communicate with them if they were in the city for immediate operation, but police chief did not know about the operation at the time. Could you talk a little bit about proactive communication?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the takeaways. I've talked with these guys before we came on the stage, but during our roundtable and some of the other conversations we've had. Communication, we absolutely want to ensure there's good communication between federal officials and state and local officials, and I'm sure that we can do better on that. We absolutely want to make sure that we are communicating, but that also requires a two-way street, and that's the point that I make about state and local officials. These guys will absolutely communicate with state and local officials. They'll tell people if they have to do an enforcement operation in a particular municipality, but part of that is they also want to ensure that if they're communicating about their whereabouts, that's not being used as a weapon against them. Sometimes they tell people where they're going, and then they find out that their agents' faces are on on Reddit or on some social media thread saying, here's this guy, we know he's going to be at this place at this exact time. So that communication has got to be a two-way street. These guys are going to communicate with business leaders,
love
with
JD
local
right
officials,
on Washington.
with
Let's
state
go.
officials.
Make sure you hit
we
the like
also
button
need the
and the
local
sub button.
officials and state officials to do a good job of protecting people when they're in their communities. We're not asking, by the way, we don't want any police officer in this community, in this state, to help us do immigration enforcement. We've got that. But if a protester shows up and that protester turns violent against our immigration officers, we really, really need the cooperation of our local partners. We haven't gotten it yet, but I think if we do, we really can lower the temperature. Yeah.
I mean, Chad, I want you to take a look at the two ICE officers standing right behind him. Chad, they're not white. They're not Caucasian. Okay. And they're calling these guys Nazis, Chad. Come on.
Yeah, so I saw that story, and the story is like so much that I read in the mainstream media. It's missing a whole lot of context, and when you appreciate the context, it makes sense. No one is saying, look, there are exceptions. For example, a crazy exception, if somebody is fired at from inside a house, they don't need a warrant to go inside that person's house. There are very narrow exceptions to the warrant requirement where law enforcement officers don't need a warrant if, for example, they're an imminent threat of their lives. But what we've said and what ICE has proposed, what the Department of Homeland Security really has proposed in the Department of Justice, is that we can get administrative warrants to enforce administrative immigration law. Now, it's possible, I guess, that the courts will say no, and of course, if the courts say no, we would follow that law, but nobody is talking about doing immigration enforcement without a warrant. We're talking about different types of warrants that exist in our system. Typically what happens, not always, but typically in the immigration system, those are handled by administrative law judges. So we're talking about getting warrants from those administrative law judges, and then of course, with other cases, you get judges, or you get warrants from a judge. That's very consistent with the practice of American law. I'm sure the courts will weigh in on that, but we're never going to enter somebody's house without some kind of a warrant, unless, of course, somebody's firing on an officer or they have to do something in order to protect themselves. Go ahead.
Do you believe that you can forcibly enter with an administrative warrant?
Make sure you take the poll, guys. Make sure you take the poll.
Well, our understanding is that you can enforce the immigration laws of the country under an administrative order if you have an administrative warrant. That's what we think. That's our understanding of the law. That's our best faith attempt to understand the law. Again, this is something courts will weigh in on. I won't speak to that. But yes, most immigration law in our country is not done through the criminal system with the judge. It's done through the administrative law system. We're going to continue that practice just as they did in the Biden administration or any other administration.
Was there anything that you heard or saw today that would cause you to counsel the president to invoke the Insurrection Act? And then also, did you meet or talk to the ICE agent who was involved in the neighborhood incident?
I did not talk to him today. I talked to some of his colleagues. You know, your question on the Insurrection Act is interesting. I've tried to understand this as well as I possibly could, and my understanding is what the Insurrection Act, what invoking the Insurrection Act would allow the federal government to do is that it would allow the federal government to use the military for local law enforcement operations. Right now, we don't think that we need that. Now, the president could change his mind. Of course, things could get worse. But right now, we think that federal law enforcement officers can do the job of federal law enforcement. Now, what I do worry about, again, is if the chaos gets worse, if more and more ICE agents start getting assaulted, if other law enforcement officers start getting assaulted, that would be a real problem. But again, we have so much federal law enforcement resources here right now. We have so many people here that we do not want to have here. I do not want so many ICE officers in Minneapolis right now. I mean, good Lord, it's really, really freaking cold outside. But they're here not even to enforce immigration laws, but to protect the people from the rioters. That's an absurd state of affairs, and we wouldn't need it if we had a little bit more cooperation from the Minneapolis Police Department. Again, the Minneapolis Police Department, my understanding is that the actual beat cops on the ground, they would love to help out, but they're being told by somebody, I don't know if it's Mayor Frey, they're being told by somebody not to cooperate at all. What kind of a person tells their local police don't protect somebody if they're being assaulted by a rioter? It's crazy, and it's got to stop. Yes?
Earlier this week, local law enforcement accused federal agents of racial profiling. Why are there so many U.S. citizens being caught up in this operation?
Well, I think your question assumes something that's not necessarily in evidence, which is that when there are American citizens who have been caught up in some of these enforcement operations, very often it is
Jack Smith is getting handled like a biatch right now.
They're not being arrested because they violated the immigration laws. They're being arrested because they punched a federal law enforcement officer. That is a totally reasonable thing. Now, to the accusation of racial profiling, you know, look, it's something that we take very seriously. We will take accusations of racial profiling back to Washington. We'll certainly look into them as they come up. But this is not a group that's going around and looking for people who violated the law based on skin color. They're looking for people who violated the actual law, the law of our immigration system in this country. And so long as we had more cooperation, I think they could do these things in a much more targeted way. They would actually know where some of the bad guys are. I mean, again, you hear things that are hard to believe, but I've confirmed that they are true. Sex offenders who we're trying to get off the streets, who the local officials won't tell us their last known address. So then the local officials say, oh my God, these guys are doing widespread targeted enforcement operations, when in reality, we would love to just go to one house. The local officials won't tell us which one house to go to.
Mr. Vice President. Mr. Vice President, to that question, the local police chiefs have said their own off-duty officers, so police officers, are being targeted because they are a person of color and asked to show their papers. Is that a concern of the administration of the Department of Homeland Security if local law law enforcement says their own officers are being targeted, and they described it as, quote, civil rights violations in our streets.
So I saw one story about this and one local police officer who said this, and look, certainly is it a concern? Absolutely. The first thing we have to figure out is whether it happened or not, and then if it happened, whether there is a good explanation or a bad explanation. And of course, if somebody violated the law, if somebody racially profiled, if somebody violated the rights of one of our fellow citizens, that is something we will take very seriously. What I also would say is that many of the most viral stories of the past couple of weeks have turned out to be, at best, partially true. So we want to try people based on reality, based on the truth, based on context. We're not going to prejudge people just because of viral social media story that turned out to be half false.
Mr. Vice President, a quick question. About the roundtable you just had, I presume that happened. Did you invite anybody with an opposing point of view to get an idea of why people are upset here? And just as a quick follow-up, have you reached out to Governor Walz at all in an attempt to turn down the tent?
So I haven't talked to Governor Walz on this particular trip. A number of members of our administration, I believe our chief of staff, spoke to the governor and has been in constant contact with his staff over the past week. We've been in my office in constant contact with people here on the ground in Minneapolis. There were certainly people at our roundtable with opposing views, and look, I don't even know, whether it's public, but yes, we met with people with opposing views here at the roundtable. I wanted to get a perspective from everybody, but also, of course, offer my opinion that with a little bit more cooperation, we could lower the chaos. We're going to keep on doing that. If Governor Walz wants to call me, we'll absolutely continue talking. I will say that my sense of this situation, having talked to these guys for a long time, is this is primarily a law enforcement issue. This is the Attorney General, this is the local mayor, this is all of the organs of local and state law enforcement. That's who we focus on, but we've certainly been in communication with the governor and his office as well.
Vice President.
Yeah.
So local law enforcement obviously hasn't been really helping out with the agents who've been assaulted repeatedly. What's the plan if nothing changes there here locally and this operation has attracted thousands of agents? Are there any plans to go into any other cities from here?
Well, right now we're focused on Minneapolis because that's where we have the highest concentration of people who have violated our immigration laws, and that's also, frankly, where we see the most assault of our law enforcement officers. Our plan is very simple. If you assault a federal law enforcement officer, we're going to do everything that we can to put you in prison. It's very simple. And most of these protesters, as much as I may disagree with their politics, most of them have been peaceful, but a lot of them have not been peaceful. And if you go and storm a church, if you go and insult a federal law enforcement officer, we're going to try very hard. We're going to use every resource of the federal government to put you in prison. Respect people's rights. Respect people's rights to worship. Respect people's rights to do their job without being assaulted. If you follow that basic principle, the Trump administration is going to do everything that we can to protect your rights. But if you go after somebody, if you assault somebody, if you make a 9-year-old girl cry because you walked into her church and harassed her, we're going to go after you with every single tool that we have.
Vice President.
Amen to that, Chad. Amen to that, guys.
Your administration has said repeatedly this is about safety, about making Americans feel safer. So what do you say to people here in Minnesota who say it's the overwhelming presence of ICE officers and federal officers and their tactics that are making them feel less safe?
Well, one thing I would say, first of all, we saw in 2025 the biggest one-year drop in murders in the history of the United States of America. Significant reductions in violent crime. The reason why we have less violent crime is really two reasons. Number one, because we're enforcing the immigration laws and getting very violent criminals out of our country. And number two, because we're enforcing our criminal laws and putting guys who assault and murder behind bars. This is part of a broad effort to make us safe. And the chaos that people are seeing, and I understand there is frustration of the chaos, I'd say that we're doing everything that we can to lower the temperature, and we would like federal and local, state and local officials to meet us halfway.
Perceiving it correctly. Are you saying that they're not seeing that it's the tactics or the presence of the officers that are...
Look, I'm sure that people are seeing a lot of things that would make any member of our national community feel very upset, but I also think that if you understand this in context, this is the inevitable consequence of a state and local government that have decided that they're not going to cooperate with immigration enforcement at all. In fact, they're going to aggressively not cooperate. So here's a basic illustration of this. If you are an ICE officer and you have to arrest a person who's committed assault and is also an illegal alien, but the state and local officials won't help you identify that person, many of the things that people in Minneapolis are seeing that give them pause, that frustrate them, that worry them, that make them feel like things are too chaotic, many of these things are coming from the fact that there's no cooperation with state and local law enforcement. And I guess what I would tell people, again, many of whom are justifiably concerned and worried about what they're seeing in their communities, is why are we not seeing it anywhere else? We're seeing this level of chaos only in Minneapolis. LA and Chicago, we had some problems there. Pretty much every jurisdiction where these guys are operating, you don't see the same level of chaos, you don't see the same level of violence, you don't see the problems that we're seeing in Minneapolis. Maybe the problem is unique to Minneapolis, and we believe that it is. And it's a lack of cooperation between state and local law enforcement and federal law enforcement. Sir.
CNN. ICE has been operating here for years with less pushback than we're seeing right now. And even the St. Paul police chief recently said, is there not a way to find common ground without scaring the hell out of people in the community? Those were his words. And I just wonder, with this Operation Metro Surge, is any part of it meant to send a form of political message to the leaders here in Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota? And I know you talked about you've been in touch with the governor's offices and the mayor's offices, but why have you not been able to speak to them directly? Have they not been willing to do so?
Well, look, I have spoken to some of the people in Minnesota directly. I spoke to some of them today. I've spoke to others in the past. And again, our staff has been in very direct contact with pretty much every official with any influence or any power in Minneapolis. But no, we're not trying to send a political message. We're trying to enforce the law. And unfortunately, what has happened is that as we've enforced the law, there's been this weird reaction, again, unique to this city. This is not a common thing across the United States of America. There's been a very unique, very Minneapolis-specific reaction to our enforcement of federal immigration laws. What I'm trying to do here today is understand why that is. What is it about Minneapolis that has become so chaotic? What are the specific types of cooperation that we need? Look, I don't need Tim Walz or Jacob Frey or anybody else to come out and say that they agree with JD Vance or Donald Trump on immigration. I just don't need that. What I do need them to do is empower their local officials to help our local or help our federal officials out in a way where this can be a little bit less chaotic and it can be a little bit more targeted. Like if we're trying to find a sex offender, tell us where the guy lives. Simple things like that, simple changes in how they're approaching immigration enforcement would make this work a lot better. It would make Minneapolis' streets a lot safer, and it would make this whole thing a lot less traumatic for this community. I'll take one more question.
Mr. Vice President.
Go ahead.
President, you've said that it's time to turn down the temperature. Does that include changes to both ICE and CBP tactics that we've seen employed on the streets, including less than lethal tactics, pepper spray, pepper balls? Beyond that, what is the federal government's role in turning down the temperature? And the Minnesota Department of Corrections says that its own officers have been cooperating with ICE all along, handing over criminals once they serve their sentences to ICE officials. Can you concede that there is some cooperation with the state?
Yeah, look, if I was going to list the 5 agencies locally and statewide that I'm most worried about, I wouldn't put the Department of Corrections on that list. I think that while there are certain things we'd like to see more from them, they've hardly been the worst offenders. You agree with that, guys? That's a fair assessment. But I think you talked about tactics and you talked about the response to things. Look, we don't want to employ tactics that we don't want to employ the kind of tactics that are only necessary when violence is committed against officers. That is these guys' directive, and that's what we're going to try to do. And again, the president said this a couple of days ago, whenever you have a law enforcement operation, even if 99.99% of the guys do everything perfectly, you're going to have people that make mistakes. That is the nature of law enforcement. What I do think that we can do is working with state and local officials, we can make the worst moments of chaos much less common. And all they've got to do is meet us halfway. These guys want to communicate with them. They want to talk to the local business leaders. Many of these guys, many of the people standing behind me are members of the Minneapolis community. Many of the officials that I met today who work in federal immigration enforcement, this is their home. They love this place. These are their neighbors. They want this to work a lot more smoothly. I think that we can get there. We just got to work at it a little bit, and we need some cooperation from state and local officials. The last thing that I'll say is I just hope they give it. This is a beautiful city. I've only been here a few times. I love it. Even in this weather, I love Minneapolis. We could do a lot better. We could do a lot more with more cooperation. The Trump administration, the directive that I got from the President of the United States is meet these guys halfway. work with them so that we can make these immigration enforcement operations successful without endangering our ICE officers, and so that we can turn down the chaos a little bit, at least. I think a lot, actually. But for us to do that, we need some help from the state and local officials. We will keep on working with them, and so long as they're willing to work with us, they will always find a partner in public safety and law enforcement in the Trump administration. Thank you all.
There you go, guys. I agree with him, chat. 100%. I agree with him. 100%, chat. 100%, guys. 100%, chat. What do you think, guys? Do you agree with what he said? I do, chat. I do 100%. Let's go to our poll. 87% of the people voted yes. Do you like JD Vance? 87%. 13 said no. Chat, I stand by JD Vance. I really do. 45 people voted. There you go, chat. I think he's going to be the next president, chat. I really do. I think JD is probably going to be the next president, chat. I really do. Let's see if we got anything else going on here. I'm looking through, trying to find something here. What do you think, chat? What do you think, guys? All right, chat. Let's see what we got going on here. This is live in Minneapolis right here. Give me a second. I'll pull it up for us, chat.
Politico, October 20th.
Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. We'll pull this one up, chat. This is live in Minnesota right now. Live in Minneapolis.
Out of that because the police didn't like come and make them leave, so they're not like trespassed per se. So besides like hurting people's feelings, like legally, I don't really think they did anything that would hold up in court.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the charge would be. I wouldn't even know.
That's why I'm super curious because I mean, not that I agree with what they did. I think it was a stupid, terrible thing, but yeah. I'm trying to comprehend what charges could come from that, and I don't see any.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'll have to go back and watch it. The fence is crazy as fuck. Yeah, it is. It's wild. It definitely makes the things different around here. Hey, is this the lady you guys are talking about? Pretty good.
Hey, Chad, if you're in your stream, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the sub button, guys. We're going to be here for a little bit. See what's going on. See what's going on, baby boo.
Because water magnifies it by like 0.3%, so that's why it messes it up. I'm a scuba diver as well. I like gear, obviously.
I get that now.
I'm doing good, Winter. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Oh, I have 3 layers.
Okay.
So it's not, it's actually...
When I was filming, I was panning up.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Tilting, actually.
Are you the TikToker?
Am I a TikToker now?
Oh, you're not. Are you live streaming?
No, I'm an archivist.
Okay. Somebody told me to look for somebody in one of these.
Oh, well, this is a kafia.
Kafia?
Uh-huh. It's a kafia.
I don't ever want to say
just chilling
I don't
in
ever
the
want to say
living room. I don't
know. It's like, okay,
I've just been calling it a scarf.
Well, yeah.
It won't get me in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're cool. They show Palestinian solidarity.
Yeah. There's another girl, I think her name is Lexi, that's a YouTuber, or a TikToker or whatever that has one. And that's my chat keeps telling me to find her.
There's another kafia in green over there.
I seen it.
The protest going on
we
tomorrow,
love solidarity.
Yep. It is. It's cold out, guys. 78%. That's PD, not sheriff. No, this is sheriff. These are all sheriffs. Nope, this is sheriffs. Hennepin County Sheriff. Local law enforcement isn't helping. The PD wasn't helping. The sheriff's department is helping. Sorry. Oh, I missed the comment. Believe me, there are laws against this. Thanks. Remember my. Yeah, today is everyone's peaceful day. Yeah, up here it's definitely been only sheriffs. The sheriffs are doing a good job. The sheriffs are doing a good job. Let's go tell this guy.
Amber, you're correct. So
My
what
chat
they're
says the
bitching about
sheriffs
is
are doing a good
how
job.
can they arrest somebody that has kids? You know what I mean? They do it every day, like you said. They do it every day in America. You know, if you get caught breaking the law, an American citizen, they come arrest you, no matter if you got kids or not. They'll take you to prison. Happens every day, every day.
The guy I just went and said hi to, or told him that you guys said he's awesome.
In America, every
he
day.
just got here a little bit ago. But they
arrest
all
more
have
Americans
actually
per
been
day
really
than they
warm.
arrest,
Really warm.
you
Somebody
know,
said to
detain
stay
illegal
warm,
aliens.
and I read that. They've been really cool. Obviously, they got a job to do, and it sucks that they end up being the middleman and the bad guy, but high tomorrow of -8, yeah. They have been okay. I watched them arrest one person. Well, yeah, they did, they arrested somebody yesterday that I didn't really get why. Yesterday, they, punched the lady's window out yesterday morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I don't know. I think it was just
yesterday.
because she was parked in the middle of the street. So these aren't the cops. These are the sheriffs. And the sheriffs really haven't been bad. It's the Minneapolis Police Department that's always been kind of the problem. Because they protected them.
Girl, you're part of the you're playing into the patriarchy. They are not your friend either.
Yes, that is what got these barriers up, because they pushed them. They didn't just touch those fences. They pushed the fences like halfway out into the road before the concrete and chain link. Yep. Hey, Nikki. Hi, Britt. They were untrained and inexperienced. Yeah, well, they definitely weren't experienced to deal with fucking thousands of people like they did.
Yeah, I think we're all glad, Chad. You ever hit
The
a
one
leg
that
guys
was
to make
arrested
you do
literally
them
touched it.
hands
Oh, well, that was
we were so
after.
close
That
to
was
hitting
after
1,000
she
sub
moved
guys.
it.
Make you hit the like and
That
the
was
sub button,
after
guys.
she moved them
I go
a whole
live
bunch.
every single day, Chad. Every day, guys.
So I know what you're talking about. She did literally just touch it, but.
It's ice, baby. Ding, 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 ding. Let's
Yeah,
warm 'em
Laura,
up,
they
Chad.
got
Should
the
we
big
warm 'em up,
fences.
guys? I think we should.
Proud Boys
Don the Dragon
cosplaying
coming out,
COD.
Chad.
Yeah.
Don the Dragon, warm 'em
Oh,
up, baby.
that's funny. That is funny. This guy, this sheriff that's in this first car, he said that he is definitely ready
Somebody
to
needs
be
teach
done
his
with
kid
all of this.
How to hold his camera. Hold your camera
At all
lovely, you jack
costs, he
wagon.
said. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Chad, I'm a ginger too. Look, I'm a ginger.
Big fences
Chad,
to
I'm a
show
ginger
out
too.
for
Can you
Vance.
not
Yeah, but he
tell?
hasn't even came here. When did they put that up? Last night. What's up, brother?
Hey, thanks for the sub.
You brought some more? Oh, shit.
Thanks for the sub,
Look
man.
at this.
Appreciate you. Welcome to the
This guy came
Patriot
back.
Nation, baby.
Hell yeah. I'm good right now, though. Here you go. You want a muffin?
Sure, I'll take them.
Hell yeah. They're real good.
I'll give you a little energy for the fight. Thank you.
Smell good. I'm all right though. I'm trying to cut back on sweets.
I ate 2 of them fuckers last time.
You were chopping down, man.
I went home, dude, and the side of my face was blue. I was like, that's funny as hell. I didn't even notice. Yeah, it did too.
We're trying to give them away.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it
Yeah,
away,
Vance
give
did
it
his
away
speech.
now.
He won't go there because he's scared. Vance did do his speech. Oh, bro, this will be done
Did you
soon.
say
Don't
Lance?
worry.
Chad is JD Vance, not Lance.
It is because they wouldn't do it that
You
in
just said
certain
JD
gang
Lance.
areas.
It's Vance, dumbass. That's such a nice guy. Chad, I didn't blow dry it today, guys, so it's kind of frizzy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
After I got out of the shower today, I didn't blow dry it. So it's kind of frizzy. But thank you.
Thanks, Big Ken Drippy.
Lady got a fabulous beer. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you,
Sharing
thank
and subscribing, following. Every protester
you. Big, what it
is
do,
a
baby boo?
rider,
Rock
no
in the house,
Fourth
Chad. Big
Amendment
rock in the house.
protections, etc.
It looks cold out there, Chad, doesn't it?
Pretty much as expected, probably the exact same words that was spoken in Ohio, in Toledo, Ohio, and probably the exact same words that were spoken in wherever the fuck he was at the last time, and wherever he was at the last time after that.
Amber, yeah, we read that already. I agreed with you.
Hope you're staying warm out there. It's cold today. Yes, it is.
It's not my pink blow dryer, it's yours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks, buddy. Hell yeah.
These are the good ones.
These are the good ones. The grabbers or whatever. The other night when I brought them ones home, I got a whole box of these.
Yeah, they're the best ones.
Hell yeah.
Keep you hot.
Yeah, these ones work good. They also keep my phone alive.
Yeah.
Real good. Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Louisiana about to have some ice. Right on. Yeah, we got snow on the ground, Chuck.
I love this shit.
That, yeah. That's wild, bro. That's a statement in itself.
That's dedication right there.
It's a statement alone.
Yeah.
Just like my grandpa said, like anybody that's over, I don't remember what he said, like 78 or...
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for following. Yes, I was a state city official would just cooperate with them and do this. Tell Vance to go mess with the gangs helping us. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
All right, Faye, we'll
I
see
wear
ya.
my beanie.
Thanks for stopping in,
Bernie
Faye.
t-shirt. Where can you drop off some clothes? If you can drop them off right here at the King's World. If you can drop them off right here at right here at these little barricades, and somebody can grab them. Goose, am I warm? I am a little bit cold, but not bad. New fencing, love it. Same, yes it will. Everything comes out eventually. You guys have them worried they wouldn't be here if they weren't. Heard. Yeah, Joseph's coat in St. Paul too. But as far as like getting them here, the quickest, easiest, most efficient way would be just bring
protest
it
supposed to
here.
start at 2 o'clock tomorrow, guys.
Uh-oh. There's a
That's
chopper.
2 o'clock, so I'll probably be live.
I wonder what
around
that
noon,
means.
and
Does that
maybe,
mean there's going to be a
Mountain Standard
motorcade
Time,
coming here?
Maybe one, maybe about 12:30.
Chopper.
So it'll start 1 my time. So
Chopper.
wherever you're at, guys, it's 2 p.m. Central is when they're going to start all the riots, all the protesters, or you know what they're saying here in Minneapolis.
Everyone's gonna freeze their butts. To be honest, if you could just could you come to maybe the back side instead of coming right here? I could walk to like the back side on like the complex side of this part, and then you wouldn't have to come up here. Oh, I guess I'd rather drive over there. I don't really want to walk and carry shit. I got too much shit. If you're not local, you can donate or flick the screen. Let everyone know what's actually going on. Yes, please tap that screen. I'm not tough enough for this cold. Same, honey, same, yeah. If it gets too heavy for you, come join me watching the monks walk for pee. Thanks for being there. You're
All right,
welcome.
guys, I think we're going to wrap it up,
Nothing
man.
like
I appreciate
that.
you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the follow button, subscribe button.
Repost
Guys,
any
if anything
content.
happens, I will be back live as soon as it happens. I'll go live, so make sure you hit that bell icon so you get notified when I do go live.
Our country.
Until then, much love. Y'all stay safe, man.
Yeah, they did all the way across this
Stay
fucker.
safe.